Hello, and welcome. Well met. This is W.R. Frady. Just wanted to bring you along tonight. We're going to be filling in some mountains. And wanted to show you how the map is looking now. Now, there is a little bit of a color correction that I had to do. Unfortunately, when it comes to certain kinds of markers, when you get, even if it says it's the same pigment, different lots may have a little bit of shade variation, which is what happened here. But I took these lemons, made some lemonade with it. Let's take a look and see what's going on. I'll show you, and then we'll jump into filling in some mountains and see what's happening with that. All right, take a look at this. Loren is filled in as far as all the grassy areas goes. And you notice this has got more of a very pale light yellow green, and this gets into a very much more pale green of its own. And while both markers, which I will show you, right here. Now, while both markers that I had, let's hope I don't mix them up. Where'd you go? Ah, here you go. All right, let me flip you back around. So while you see both markers there say 167, pale green light. One. Now I got to figure out which one's which. But no, one of them was this one, and this was the new one. And I only had this little patch right here left when I had to go get that marker. But because of the shade difference, I went ahead and spread it out. As you can see, I went ahead and spread it out just so I could go ahead and have more of a broad spectrum, and then have a definitive, you see this light yellowish green fading into the dark, little bit deeper green, which kind of adds to that luster as we move south into more warm and tropical and warmer climate areas, where you would see not only some of the more temperate forests, which would probably make these more like temperate rainforest, but then you've got this right here, borderline in the Saharan desert, that's starting the jungle-like areas and the rainforest areas. So that kind of just blended in and added to that. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to roll with it. It worked out perfectly. I love it. I love the design it gives it and the change. So, anyway, to kind of show you what we're working on tonight. Okay, you've seen the mountains, however, they're like this. Well, we're going to move up here where I've already filled in a few mountains. And look at that. That is the mountains and how we're going to be filling them in. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to work that mountain range right there while I'm filming. And then I will talk to you and let you about what's going on. And, like always, you may see some variations in what I do here and so forth. So, okay, looks like you can see what I'm doing. Alright, let me get my fouling sheet here. My anti-fouling sheet so I don't accidentally smudge or smear anything. Alright, we're going to start. What we're going to do is we're going to start at the very bottom. And we're going to fill in the rocky areas, but we're going to leave the snow, we're going to leave peaks and stuff for the snow. Like what you're seeing There we go, look at that. Now, yeah, kind of like what you saw in that one. We're just leaving the peaks. Now the music in the background is, who is that? Dream Alliance. Alright, the music in the background is Dream Alliance. It's got that fireside tavern sound, which just lends to the atmosphere and the mood of what I'm working on. I love how, different types of music can inspire and build kind of right along with you as you're doing something. The right music adds to it and lends to that whole mood of what you're doing and inspires more imagination and stories. Alright, so this. There we go. A little bit darker. Alright, now. See this right here? You know what that is? That is a lake that I missed. So, we're going to fix that and we're going to, whoa, let's not drop stuff here. Is it the right color? Yes. Okay. Sometimes it's not until you're already in the midst of doing this that you find stuff that you missed along the way. But when everything is pretty much the same color, that can be an easy thing to do. Can you step back over here and get the other blue that I used? There we go. Okay. Now, and I'm sure I'm probably going to find a whole lot more like that as I go. Probably not a whole lot more, but I don't expect to not find any more. Like I said, when the whole map was basically a monochromatic design, if even that, it's easy for stuff to get lost in translation until you're getting ready to work with it via alright, now there we go. Alright. Back to it. Alright. Okay, now, so what you wanted to see here is you've always got that frost point at a certain point above really, really tall mountains. And that's what I'm trying to highlight here. I'm trying to highlight the mountains themselves. There we go. And what you want it to do is, you really don't want the snow lines to look completely perfect with each one. You want to kind of have that randomness as you would see on real mountains. That way they kind of stand out to a degree. There we go. This is coming up through here. You get to see how these mountains are starting to play into effect of one another. And to be honest with you, it's as exciting for me to see it as it might be for you guys. Because with every piece that gets colored and colored correctly, yeah, I get to see things about this that I didn't see before. I mean, I get to see this world in living color, in a sense. Yeah, these mountains right here, as you can tell, are very rugged. So it's going to naturally lend to a very hostile landscape. Alright, look at that. Alright, let's take a look at this. Let you see it. Look at that. Oh yeah. Like I said, we'll go, while we're at it, I'm going to move some of this stuff aside, and I am going to take you on a quick scale over of Loren. Look at that. This, guys, is the continent of Loren. And it is coming together beautifully. And the key thing is not to get in a rush and just enjoy the process as it all unfolds. Look at this. I'll get back to doing these hills here soon, but I just wanted to fill in some of these mountains and kind of let you see how that's going to turn out. I love the way this is looking, guys. Now, I don't know when this will be complete, but the fact that the map is getting filled in and is becoming such a beautiful piece of cartography for this world, I can't wait to not only do this, but the island of Igraine and the continent of Loren. Well, the continent of Loren. We're doing the continent of Loren. But the continent of Gelinor, the island of Drakenstad, and there's just so much more. And who knows what other continents, lands, or whatnot might come into play. See, I still got to add in, at some point in the map, I've got to add in Salvatanora, the Cloud Castle, and I've also got to add in the Cloud City of Miralon. So, which is the home of the Great Library. And in the Great Library, you've got these ancient creatures that I'm still working on the concept and the name for. So I will get back to you on those. But see, Like down here, like down here, you've got a race of bird creatures known as the Akari, which are beautiful, beautiful bird warriors and bird folk, which have armor and weaponry that is specifically for them, which means no other race on Areth can use their armor, their weaponry, because it is made specifically for their avian forms. And when I get time, I will actually show you the concept art of the Akari. But yes, look at this. Anyway, all right. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I am so glad you guys got to come in, see how everything's unfolding. I can tell I'm getting tired. It has been a long day. And so, with that, I am going to see you off for the night. I hope you have an amazing, amazing night. We will see you again soon. Until then, keep dreaming and just let your imagination run free. Because you really never know what you're going to uncover. Once upon a time, I would have never imagined that I was going to have all this put together. So, just a little bit of imagination, and then just taking it and running with it. You never know where you're going to lead you. It's kind of like a good adventure, you know. All right. Everyone, you have a good evening. We'll see you soon.